All right, so we're diving deep today into Google Ads. I think we've all been there, right?
Oh, yeah.
Watching the budget just vanish and wondering where the leads are, it's like throwing money into a black hole sometimes. But just imagine, if instead of that, you're not just getting leads, but you're doubling, tripling your quality leads.
That's the dream, right?
That is the dream, and that's exactly what we're breaking down today, how to maximize that ROI on Google Ads, turning clicks into actual customers and profits.
It really comes down to a shift in mindset. A lot of people view Google Ads as this quick fix, like a magic bullet. But it's really more like,
More like a process.
yeah, more like a finely tuned instrument. You got to understand how to use it to really make it sing.
And I think that's where a lot of us go wrong, right? We kind of jump in without really understanding the instrument.
Yeah, exactly. And then you end up hitting all the wrong notes.
So what's like a classic example of one of those wrong notes, one of the mistakes people make?
One of the biggest. Going way too broad with your keywords. You see those ads that are just slightly off.
Oh, all the time.
Yeah, you're searching for like handmade leather boots, and you end up with ads for rubber galoshes.
Oh, tell me about it. One time I was looking for organic dog treats, and I got bombarded with ads for human-grade dog food.
That's the broad match keyword working against you. Because, you think you're casting a wide net, reaching more people,
Yeah, more people, more leads.
but you actually end up paying for all these clicks from people who aren't even close to your target audience. Just totally wasted budget.
So how do we refine that? How do we tighten up that targeting? If broad match is the culprit, what are the alternatives?
Well, you got to understand the different match types. Phrase match is a great one. You're targeting specific phrases, so your ad only shows up for searches that include those exact words in order.
So instead of boots, it's handmade leather boots.
Exactly.
Okay, got it. But wouldn't that really limit your reach?
Yeah. Not necessarily.
Yeah.
You've got broad match modifier. It give you a bit more control than plain broad match, so there's still some flexibility. It's finding that sweet spot, reach and relevance.
Okay, that makes sense. And what about exact match?
Exact match. That's like a laser beam. It only shows up for searches that are a perfect match to your keyword, super precise, but you might miss out on some potentially valuable searches.
Gotcha. So it's like choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly. It's all about strategy.
Okay, so keywords, we've talked about that. Now, I keep hearing about negative keywords. How do those fit into this whole thing?
Oh, negative keywords. These are like your bouncers for your ad campaign. They keep out the riffraff. So your ads are only seen by people who are genuinely interested.
Okay, I like that analogy.
You're telling Google, hey, if someone searches for this specific term, don't show them my ad no matter what.
So, like in my dog treat example, I could add human grade as a negative keyword to stop those ads from showing up.
Exactly. You're anticipating those irrelevant searches before they even happen.
That's so smart. I'm feeling more strategic already. Okay, so we've got our keywords all figured out, but what about the ads themselves? I mean, we've all seen those ads that are just, well, boring.
Oh, totally. You can have the best keywords in the world, but if your ad copy falls flat, you're missing a huge opportunity.
It's like having an amazing product, but terrible packaging.
Right. No one's even going to look at it. You got to think about it. You're competing for attention. There's so much content out there.
It's like trying to stand out at a crowded party, right?
Perfect analogy. First impressions are everything. Your headline needs to be clear, concise, attention-grabbing, and highlight what makes your product or service unique. Why should they choose you?
So it's not just about saying what you offer, it's about the why. What problem are you solving for them?
Absolutely. You got to tap into those emotional triggers. Think, what are they looking for? Convenience, affordability, status. You got to speak their language.
I see, really understand your audience. But how do we actually put that into words? Like, are there any tips for writing ad copy that really works?
One of the most effective things, numbers.
Numbers.
Yeah, numbers in your ad copy. It can actually increase click-through rates.
Really? I never would have thought of that.
Makes sense though, right? Numbers catch your eye. They give you concrete information. So instead of saying save money, you say get 20% off.
Specific. I like it.
And it creates that urgency, And speaking of urgency, you always got to have a strong call to action. Tell people what you want them to do. Shop now, learn more, get a free quote.
Don't leave them hanging.
Exactly.
This is so helpful. So to sum up, Your ad copy should be a natural extension of your keyword strategy.
100%. The message needs to align with what people are searching for. It's all about creating that cohesive, relevant experience, from the search query to actually landing on your website.
Oh, and that brings us to landing pages. It's not just about getting the click, it's about what happens after, right?
Totally.
Yeah.
Think of your landing page as the digital storefront. It's the first impression once someone clicks on your ad, and it better be a good one.
I've definitely clicked on ads and been like, wait, what is this? The page is completely different from what the ad promised.
Ugh, yeah. Like going to a restaurant with amazing pictures on the menu,
Yeah.
and then they bring you a completely different dish. Major letdown.
Exactly. So how do we make sure that our landing pages are actually converting? What are the key things to keep in mind?
It's like ad copy. There's a whole science to it. First and foremost, relevance. Make sure your landing page matches the ad.
So no bait and switch tactics. Got it.
None whatsoever. Someone clicks on an ad for handcrafted leather boots. They should land on a page about handcrafted leather boots, not sandals, not sneakers, boots.
Right. Keep it consistent. What else is important?
Speed. Did you know that even a 1-second delay in page load time can lead to a 7% drop in conversions?
Wow. I believe it. I'm so impatient online. If a page takes forever to load, I'm out of there.
Oh yeah, me too. In this day and age, no one's got time to wait. So your landing page needs to load fast, or you risk losing people before they even see what you offer.
Speed check. What else should we be focusing on?
Clarity and simplicity. Remember, your landing page has one main goal: convert visitors into customers. Don't overload them with information.
So keep it clean, keep it focused, and guide them towards the action you want them to take, right? Whether it's making a purchase, filling out a form, or signing up.
Precisely. It's a funnel, guiding your visitors toward that conversion point.
Makes sense. I'm already thinking about how I can revamp my own landing pages.
Oh, and don't forget about mobile optimization. So important these days.
Yeah, that's a good point. How many times have you been on your phone and clicked an ad only to find a website that's just impossible to navigate?
Way too many. You got to make sure your landing pages are responsive, adapt to different screen sizes.
All right, so we've covered targeting, keywords, ad copy, and landing pages. Anything else we need to hit before we move on to those success strategies?
One more critical piece: conversion tracking. This is the glue that holds everything together.
Conversion tracking. I know I've heard the term, but I'll be honest, I'm not entirely sure what it is or why it's so important.
It's basically measuring what happens after someone clicks on your ad.
So it's not just about how many clicks you're getting, it's about what those clicks actually lead to.
Exactly. Are they making a purchase?
Yeah.
Signing up for your email list? You need to know which of your ads and keywords are driving the actions that matter for your business.
So it's like a map showing you which paths are actually leading to your destination and which ones are just dead ends.
Exactly. Without conversion tracking, you're basically shooting in the dark, spending money on ads without really knowing what's working.
Okay, I'm starting to see why it's so crucial. But how do we actually set it up? How do we make sure we're tracking the right things?
The good news is Google Ads has got all these tools built in. You set up conversion goals for different actions you want users to take, like making a purchase, filling out a form, downloading something.
So you define what success looks like for your business and then track those specific actions.
Precisely. And then you install a little piece of code on your website, and it tracks those actions, tells you what's happening.
Okay, that doesn't sound too complicated, but how do we actually make sense of all that data once we've collected it?
That's where the fun begins. Google Ads gives you all sorts of reports and insights so you can analyze your data and see the trends.
So you can see which ads are performing well, which ones are falling behind, and which keywords are bringing in the most valuable conversions.
Exactly. And this information is gold for optimizing your campaigns and getting the most out of your budget.
I see. It all comes full circle. So conversion tracking isn't just some technical afterthought. It's actually a key part of a successful strategy.
100%. It's that connection between clicks and customers. You can't know your true ROI without it.
Okay, so we've talked about targeted keywords, compelling ad copy, those optimized landing pages, and the crucial role of conversion tracking. It's a lot to take in, but it seems like a successful Google Ads campaign is about all these different pieces working together.
Exactly. It's about creating that smooth and engaging experience for your potential customers, from their first search all the way to taking action on your website.
And it might seem overwhelming at first, but there are tons of resources out there to help.
Oh, absolutely. Google has a ton of information, and there are communities and forums where you can connect with other people.
So it's really about finding what works best for you and constantly learning and optimizing.
You got it. And in our next segment, we're going to dive even deeper into those success strategies.
Hmm.
Explore some advanced tactics and techniques that can really take your Google ads to a whole new level.
All right, so we're back and ready to get into some of those advanced strategies, the ones that can really boost your Google Ads ROI.
It's like we've laid the foundation, and now we get to design the house.
Okay, I like where this is going.
Yeah, we're going to get into some really cool tricks that'll help your campaigns really stand out, attract those customers who are ready to spend.
I'm all ears. Where do we start with these advanced tactics?
Let's talk about smart bidding strategies. Remember we touched on them earlier?
Yeah, briefly.
It's worth taking a deeper dive. These aren't just about, like, setting bids. It's about using machine learning to optimize your campaigns in ways we humans we can't do manually. It's too much data.
I gotta be honest, I'm always a little hesitant to hand over control to an algorithm. How do I know it's gonna make the best decisions for my business? It feels a little risky.
I get that. It's a big leap of faith. But think about it this way. Those smart bidding algorithms, they're analyzing tons of data in real time. Stuff like user behavior, search intent, demographics, even the time of day.
That's a lot to process.
It's like having a whole team of analysts working 24/7 just to adjust your bids for maximum impact. They don't need coffee breaks. They don't need sleep.
That's quite a team, but how do I even know which smart bidding strategy to use? There's like a whole menu of them, right?
It all depends on your goals. What are you trying to achieve? Let's say your main thing is getting as many conversions as possible, regardless of cost.
Okay, volume over everything.
Then maximize conversions is the way to go. That algorithm's going to work its magic within your budget to drive those conversions, whether it's leads, purchases, signups, whatever your goal is.
So if I'm all about volume, maximize conversions makes sense. But what if I'm more concerned about, keeping costs under control? I don't have an unlimited budget here.
Then target CPA is the strategy for you. You set a specific cost per acquisition, basically what you're comfortable paying for each conversion, and the algorithm works to get you as many conversions as possible within that target.
So it's like finding that balance, right? Conversions without breaking the bank.
Exactly. But even with all this automation, you can't just set it and forget it. You still got to keep an eye on things.
So it's not completely hands-off.
Nope. You still need to monitor performance, check the data, make adjustments. The algorithms need our input to really perform well.
So it's more of a partnership, human expertise working with machine learning.
Exactly. We bring the context, the goals, the creativity, and the algorithms, bring the raw power to crunch the numbers and make it happen.
Okay, I'm liking this teamwork approach. But even with the best bidding strategies, you could still end up wasting money on clicks that don't convert. How do we refine our targeting even more, make sure we're reaching the right people?
This is where audience targeting comes in. It lets you go beyond just keywords and actually target users based on all sorts of factors, their demographics, their interests, what they do online, even their past interactions with your website.
This is starting to sound really powerful. So instead of just targeting people searching for, let's say, leather boots, I could target people who are into hiking, outdoor gear, or even specific brands.
Exactly. You can create custom audiences that match your ideal customer. So your ads are seen by the people who are most likely to be interested in what you have to offer.
That's pretty amazing. But isn't it a little creepy, tracking people's online behavior?
I get the concern, totally. But Google has some pretty strict rules about protecting user data. And in the end, it's good for both businesses and customers. Businesses can connect with the right people, reduce waste, and get better results. And for consumers, it means they're not seeing a bunch of irrelevant ads. It's a win-win, really.
Okay, so it's all about finding that balance, personalization, without being invasive.
Absolutely. And you're always in control. You decide what data you want to use and which audiences you want to reach.
All right, audience targeting, I'm on board. What other advanced tactics are in our toolbox?
Let's talk about A/B testing. This is crucial for optimizing campaigns. You create multiple versions of your ads, test them against each other, and see which one performs the best.
So instead of just guessing what works, we're letting the data guide us.
Exactly. You might be surprised at what you learn. Sometimes just a small change, like a different headline or a new call to action, can make a huge difference.
So it's all about experimenting, constantly tweaking and refining to find those winning combinations.
You got it. A/B testing is all about continuous learning.
This is all great stuff. But I imagine it can be a lot to handle trying to implement all of this on your own.
It's true. Google Ads can be a lot to manage, especially when you've got multiple campaigns running. But there are tools and resources that can help.
Okay, tell me more. What kind of tools can we use to make this whole process a little easier?
Well, Google itself has some really powerful tools built right into the platform. You've got the keyword planner for finding the right keywords, the ad preview tool for testing your ads before they go live, the performance planner for forecasting results. It's like having a whole team of digital marketing experts at your fingertips.
Wow, that's pretty cool. And are there any third-party tools you recommend?
Definitely. There are tons of tools out there, both free and paid, that can help with everything from keyword research to ad creation to managing your campaigns.
So many options. It's hard to know where to start.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
My advice is to start with your biggest pain points. What are the things that take up most of your time or that you find the most challenging?
For me, it's definitely keyword research. I always struggle to find the right keywords that'll reach my target audience. It feels like a guessing game sometimes.
I hear that a lot. Tools like SEMrush or Ahrefs can be a game changer for keyword research. They can help you find relevant keywords, analyze their search volume, even identify those long-tail keywords that your competitors might be missing.
So they're like secret weapons for uncovering hidden opportunities.
Exactly. And if you're struggling with designing your ads, there are tools like Canva or Bannersnack that can help you create really eye-catching visuals.
So many tools, so little time. All right, so we've talked about smart bidding, audience targeting, A/B testing, all these amazing tools. Is there anything else we need to consider before we move on?
One more thing I want to emphasize. You got to stay up to date. The world of Google Ads is constantly changing. New features, new algorithms, new best practices.
So we can't just learn it once and be done.
Nope, Google Ads is a lifelong learning experience. Make it a habit to stay informed about all the latest changes and trends.
Okay, but how do we keep up with it all? There's so much information out there.
Luckily, there are tons of resources available. Google has a ton of educational content, blog posts, webinars, even certifications.
Straight from the source. I like it.
And there are also blogs, podcasts, newsletters from industry experts. Plus, don't underestimate the power of online communities and forums.
Those virtual water coolers where marketers hang out and swap war stories.
Exactly. They can be a great source of advice and support, especially when you're feeling lost or overwhelmed.
This has been so insightful. I feel like I'm finally starting to understand the depth of strategy involved in Google Ads.
It's not just about throwing up a few ads and hoping for the best. It's about using data, technology, and your own smarts to create campaigns that really resonate with your audience and get results.
And the best part is, it's an ongoing journey. There's always something new to learn, something new to try.
Exactly. Embrace the challenge, stay curious, and keep experimenting.
This has been fantastic, but before we move on to the next segment, I have to ask, what's the one key takeaway, the golden nugget of wisdom you would leave our listeners with?
If there's one thing to remember, it's this. Don't treat your Google Ads campaigns like a set-it-and-forget-it thing.
So no autopilot mode.
Definitely not. The campaigns that perform the best are the ones that are actively managed, analyzed, and optimized all the time.
So it's a constant process of testing, learning, and refining.
Exactly. Embrace the challenge, and you'll see the rewards.
This has been an amazing journey so far, and I can't wait to hear what else you have to share in the next segment.
We're going to look at a really interesting case study that brings all these principles together and shows the incredible results you can achieve with a strategic approach to Google Ads.
We've covered a lot in this deep dive. We started with the common mistakes and then moved on to those really powerful strategies that can boost your Google Ads performance.
It's been a journey, hasn't it? But even with all that, we've barely scratched the surface. There's so much more to Google Ads.
That's what makes it so exciting, though, right? It's constantly changing, always new things to learn.
Absolutely. You have to be willing to experiment and never stop learning. That's the key.
And speaking of learning, earlier you mentioned a case study that brings all these ideas together. I'm curious to hear how these strategies work in a real-world situation.
Of course. So this case study shows a business that completely transformed their results by using the exact principles we've been talking about.
Okay, tell me more. What kind of business was it? What problems were they facing? What were they hoping to achieve?
It was an e-commerce company selling handmade leather goods. You know, bags, wallets, belts, things like that. They had a beautiful product line, and people loved their stuff, but they were having trouble expanding their reach online, reaching new customers.
I can see how that would be a challenge. You can have the best product in the world, but if people can't find you.
Exactly. Their main problem was visibility. They were relying on organic search, which wasn't bringing in consistent traffic. They knew they needed something more to really grow.
So they needed to find a way to stand out online and reach more people.
Right. Their goals were to build brand awareness, get more people to their website, and, of course, increase sales. And that's why they decided to try Google Ads.
It makes sense, but I'm guessing they made some of those common mistakes we talked about earlier.
Oh, yeah, for sure. In the beginning, they jumped in without a clear plan, using broad match keywords and pretty generic ad copy. The kind of ads you scroll right past.
So they were casting a wide net, but not necessarily catching the right kind of customers.
Exactly. They were getting clicks, but not from people who were actually interested in their products. High click-through rates, but low conversion rates, which means wasted budget.
That's the Google Ads trap, isn't it? Spending money without seeing results.
It happens to a lot of businesses. But this company decided to change their approach. They realized they needed to be more strategic, use data to make better decisions.
So how did they do that? How did they apply those principles we've been discussing?
First, they completely changed their keyword strategy. They moved away from broad match and started using phrase match and exact match keywords. That way, their ads were only showing up for people specifically searching for those types of leather goods they sold.
So more focused, like instead of just leather bags, they might target handmade leather tote bags or personalized leather wallets.
Exactly. And that made a huge difference in the quality of their traffic. People clicking on those ads were much more likely to actually buy something.
That's great, but I imagine keywords alone wouldn't solve everything.
You're right. They also knew they had to write better ads, ads that would grab people's attention and make them want to click.
So no more boring generic ads.
Nope. They started highlighting what made their product special. The craftsmanship, the use of premium materials, the fact that each piece was handmade.
So maybe instead of shop leather goods, it became discover handcrafted leather bags made with love and attention to detail.
Perfect. That kind of language speaks to what people are looking for. They emphasize the unique value of their products and always included a clear call to action, encouraging people to visit their website.
Keywords and ad copy, check. What about their landing pages? Did they need to make changes there?
Oh, definitely. They realized their landing pages weren't really in sync with their ads. It created a disconnect.
So someone might click on an ad for, let's say, personalized leather wallets and end up on a general page showcasing all their products.
Exactly. It'd be confusing for the customer, make it harder for them to find what they're looking for. So they created specific landing pages for each product category, making sure the message and visuals matched the ads that brought people there.
So someone searching for handmade leather tote bags would land on a page just about tote bags with great pictures and details and an easy way to buy.
Right. They streamlined the experience,
Yeah.
made it easy for people to buy, and they made sure those pages were optimized for mobile because so many people are shopping on their phones these days.
All these little changes, but they add up. It's amazing how much of a difference they can make.
It really shows how powerful it can be to have a strategy and to use data to make better choices. And the best part, that's not even all they did.
There's more. What else did they do to improve their campaigns?
They started using smart bidding, specifically the target CPA strategy. They set a cost per acquisition that worked for them based on their profit margins and their goals.
So they told the algorithm what they wanted and then let it work its magic.
Right. They let the algorithm analyze all that data and adjust their bids in real time. They were getting the most conversions possible without overspending.
Sounds risky, but it sounds like it worked out for them.
It did. Within a few months, they saw incredible results.
Okay, give me the numbers. What kind of impact did all of this have?
Their click-through rates went up by 50%, their conversion rates actually tripled, and their cost per acquisition went down by 40%.
That's amazing. Their strategic approach really paid off.
It shows you what data-driven optimization can do. And the great thing is, they didn't stop there.
Really? What else did they do?
They kept experimenting. They were always testing different ad variations, different landing pages, different bidding strategies to see what worked best for their audience. Always tweaking things, always trying to improve.
So it's about constantly learning and refining your approach.
Exactly. That's how you succeed with Google Ads over the long term. It's never a one-and-done thing.
This case study is inspiring. It proves that Google Ads can work for businesses of all sizes if you have the right approach.
It really does. It just shows what's possible when you use data and a strategic mindset.
Well, as we wrap up our deep dive, I want to thank you for sharing all your knowledge and experience with us today.
It's been a pleasure. And remember, the world of Google Ads is always evolving, but with the right information and a willingness to test and learn, you can achieve amazing things.
So, to everyone listening, don't be afraid to try new things. Keep experimenting, keep learning, and who knows, maybe we'll be featuring your success story on a future deep dive.
That would be fantastic.
Thanks for joining us on this journey into the world of Google Ads. We'll see you next time.